fall asleep too fast. I hope my head don't crash. Don't think that I can last. You're supported. Sometimes I need the same. Been falling through my brain. I gave myself away. 'Cause I need you. I thought this
broadcast the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Esports Arena. I'm your host, Artie Rain, joined on desk by Greg Smith. All right, so tonight is a best-of-3 show match between the Barracudas and the Hawks. The question of the day is who's going to come out on top, but I think a question that feeds into that one is how do comfort picks really go into a free agent week like we're about to experience?
Yeah, like comfort is important, and it's not just your own comfort because you also have the comfort of the entire team. Like a free agent pick means that you have to be comfortable with what your other people are playing. Like the synergy has to be built there, and you don't have the whole match to build that synergy. It has to be right off the bat.
I beg to differ on that one.
Really?
Yes, just because we are aware of some of the duos that we have coming out. I'm not going to mention names just because I feel as though it sets a precedent really early. But you and I are aware of some of the people that are on these rosters, especially the Barracudas this week. And I feel like even if you don't have quote-unquote agent synergy between two people, you can have just raw, unfiltered player synergy that happens. And so even if they do go off the wall with a pick and are just like, I just want to give it a shot, and it's not an agent that directly, normally you'd see a dynamic duo between two happening, I feel like it could be forced between specific esports tower players.
No, we do have some good co-op comps that are living in the Barracudas, which are not that free agent pick, but in order to get anywhere, they're going to have to follow some keys to the game.
And those keys come in the form of Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, which are flank effectively, spend and peek wisely, count cards, call abilities, and click heads. Doc's keys to the game are presented today by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. So we're about to kick off our evening, night, afternoon, depending on where you're at, of Game 1 for our show match. It's going to be on Breeze. Just based off of what we discussed beforehand, it's not a big shock to you, is it, Greg?
No, it's not. It's a popular map, especially for the teams that we've got going here. I know that the Barracudas themselves are comfortable on Breeze and are comfortable making this their Game 1.
All right, well, we'll have to see how this goes for the Barracudas, especially with it being their own personal pick. Best of luck to everyone involved, and we're about to have a reveal of those rosters, so y'all can finally get a clue in as to what I was trying to allude to without giving away too much intel early on. Try to create that, you know, that viewership agency, make you curious. Who am I talking about? But if you've been here enough, you probably already know the dynamic duo we were speaking about.
Yeah, this map is pretty open, so when you have that zone control with, like, you know, you and your counterpart in a good duo setup, or even a trio here. I mean, this is a strong team just overall. Being able to control that space when it's open like that, focusing angles, and that flank that Doc was talking about is just so much easier to juggle, and it really feels like a juggle sometimes on this map.
I'm just really glad that the Doc key of don't peek the op is gone, so that means
yeah,
it's
don't ego peek the op. Yeah, ego peeking the op is back online, guys. Dive in.
And if it isn't obvious enough, we've got Prestige, Kinetic, and even Milk over here coming out for the side of the Barracudas, which makes that team a little bit stacked. So we'll have to see how that goes for them. And also, our banner popped up, so I got to mention it. Vita Shop, they're an awesome sponsor here for Boise State Esports, and Vita Shop has everything a gamer could need. Scan the QR code that's going to pop up again soon to find out about their latest products.
On the other side, Keikonen, we've seen really perform Matrix as well, Extension. And, I mean, we were talking about this, Brandon and I, last week and the week before. A lot of times it feels like all of the players here, like, take turns really popping off. Like, it'll be a pretty mellow and, like, really together setup, but then someone will just carry for a minute, and then it'll change. They really, like, take the chance when they can to really break out on certain rounds. So I would not be surprised if we saw Keikonen really take one home, or Rezkin just have like 1 or 2 aces.
I'm really interested in the fact that we have, you know, the Astra coming out as the pick over here for my apologies, for the Hawks. And then for the Barracudas, instead of the Astra, we have that Viper pick. Typically, I'm used to seeing a Viper on Breeze, you know, that one agent that you can just be like, okay, after pistol rounds, you're on this point.
Yeah, it takes a second to get comfortable with the ulting on the strange geometry that B-Site has, or A-Site, but both of them are very valuable Viper wall spots. I mean, that just divides the territory so well. It's almost always an auto lock. So switching that out for the Astra while not like strange, earlier in this map we saw quite a bit of Astra before like Viper was super viable. So it's not like unknown territory, but it's definitely we could see where this comfort pick might be coming out. If you're just have the muscle memory for the stars and are just feeling it better than any lineups. Like, if you don't have any Viper lineups, Viper loses a lot of the value there. So could be where Extension is going with this.
Most definitely. I just hope we don't catch an Astra going into the plane right before someone peeks a corner on them. That was a very painful experience as a caster to have to watch happen multiple times. Also, Extension, I'm judging you for having the Spectrum pistol.
It definitely bothered me a little bit.
Yep.
And Kinetic, fast with it, coming right down the tube, takes one and leaves. Good.
Swing and peek.
Yeah, good self-control there to not get greedy for the next kills, but definitely provide a big intimidation. Defense is watching that tube when they don't need to be. So now Barracuda's moving cleanly up behind this wall, taking the space that they're basically been given. Kinetic, trying to prevent something there. Yeah, really pushing out for extra space, but it's more than just like intimidation defense. Matrix just can't push up against that and fight Plastic Sleep. That wall goes down. They've got to be a little bit careful. Stand behind the natural geometry. Didn't get a plant off, and they're already out. Matrix on the hunt, finds one, does get replied as Redskin takes.
That wall's not going to last super long for this Viper. I think we're possibly going to see just either stand their ground or rotate out here. We do have that knife suppress a couple people. Yep, it's going to be a rotation. Our Prestige is hurting quite a bit, as well as our KO here for the side of the Barracudas. I mean, 3 members with marginal existing
30
health,
seconds left.
we could probably equate to being 1. So this is going to be a rough engage here for the side of the Barracudas if angles are taken. And we also are going to have their location revealed for this rotation. It looks like Prestige is looking to get
One enemy
They
remaining.
got the first one, but check your angles, Prestige.
Spike
You're not
planted.
the only one there.
Yeah, Chobot looking for something. Oh, wow. Chobot was really the one that they had to be careful of. It was the unknown in the equation. He didn't fire off anything on that first encounter. He was not made known, I believe, on the A push. So they couldn't really full push B, knowing that they had like counted all the cards and called all the abilities to keep track of the players there. So Cho definitely slowed down that rotation a little bit, but they got him right in the middle there.
Even with that trademark going off, it was very interesting to see the Barracudas struggled as much as they did. They had such low health, but the Hawks still ended up being the ones getting thwarted, their wings clipped, so to speak. Then it looks like we're going to have a lot of util dropped out of mid very quickly by the Hawks, as we have Kinetic immediately looking down tube.
Wow, yeah, and the Hawks have just abandoned B. They've left Cho back there to hold it down. One person in A. It is the controller, so it's nice for the space, but they're going to be playing some darts in here pretty soon. Just trying to get some good info, and they don't feel comfortable with that. It's a big flank, so they're comfortable giving up that space, Hawks. Dropping their main 2 back, so they don't lose anything on first encounter. And this time trapping him in. Barracudas can't rotate out this time. And they're playing a little bit more gentle. It's a little bit more of an anti-eco. No reason to push up and take a whole lot of space when the Hawks are comfortable at a shorter distance, right? Because they still have those light pistols they get from a hold.
And we actually have the Hawks looking like they're going for a pinch play by surrounding the point that they recognize Barracudas want to take. I do believe Barracudas also did do slight full buys. Yes, what they did what I love seeing in round 2, which is instead of everyone going for a heavy buy, they have a couple people pick up full weaponry and then just have them duoed with someone else so they can pick up extra weapons. And when they had that right click, just eviscerates one. But unfortunately, our stage will go down for the Hawks.
Yeah, Typhlotic.
All right, I'm hoping we'll see the Hawks pick up the mantle at this point. I mean, this is the bonus round for the Barracudas. I don't think they lost 1 person last round, I think. So Econ's heavily in their favor. They don't need to buy too much, but now is the opportunity for the Hawks to actually, have 2 people pick up, a Phantom or a Vandal, preferably Vandal on Breeze because of those long sight lines, and then have someone who's with them that just has a Spectre or, unfortunately, just has a really horrible pistol sometimes and is able to be a dynamic duo with that person. But instead, they're full buying, which is really going to hurt their econ forcing this round if they do not come out on top.
Yeah, Hawks are taking a dive here, going all the way in for round 3 gun round. We see them do this a lot. The eco hit is okay if they find this round, and the Barracudas are living off a little bit of a bonus. Typhlotic looking for something here. Just trying to guard this, kind of from the nest with Cho. gives him a good chance to play off contact, especially if Barracudas want to get through this hallway into the A site. Interestingly enough, that door's being watched pretty well on the other side too, so Hawks are feeling good on the defense, playing pretty forward.
Prestige looking to peek down into the mid-tunnel. Oh!
Ooh, makes quite a bit of eye contact, does take Matrix. That's going to pay back for anything Typhlocked got earlier. Does go down.
Side note for anyone who's watching, just don't use your sprays mid-round. Just don't. We all could hear that from our observation angle coming from
30 seconds left.
main. Like, I get that it's quieter than the pre-round sprays, but still, it gives away intel. Even if our chamber had not been looking directly at the stage, they would have known someone was there.
Ooh, Keikonen
Ooh, pop flash,
holding
pop flash.
very, very close for this one. Gets the
seconds
plant
left.
off, which kind of
Spike
changes the
down
win-con
A.
field now.
I have the
Defense
spike.
can hold pretty
Last
close here.
player
Milk,
standing.
yep,
Ooh.
tries to get it, but that space has just been disrupted by that just really high-paced push.
Okay, so tell me now, the Hawks, they have 2 people left standing, and they full bot that round. How much is that still going to impact the econ here?
I mean, it feels a little bit strange, right? Because now the pacing of everyone together is off. You can't really call it a save round or a buy round because some people are going to want to be holding long angles because they have nice guns, and some people are going to want to be holding closer angles or like saving things up. So you don't want to pace the entire team out. It looks like they're just going to push and try to buy everything they can and really go all out here.
Kind of equalize a little bit here, but the Hawks definitely need to get a few picks, even if they don't come on top this round, just to get rid of some of that extra economy that the Barracudas have over them. Extension going with the Marshall, coming in as the Minutemen now for the side of the Hawks.
Yeah, it's nice to see those people really reaching for the op. Interesting how they can usually be like bottom of the leaderboard for the first 3 rounds, and then once they can get those kind of power position guns back into their hands, fit like glove, do much better. It's going to be a quick rotation over to B.
Oh!
That's a good entry. Ultimate Typhlocked tries to get out of there. Caught in the heels just a touch. Milk getting the plant down fast. They've
Spike
scouted the place
planted.
out. Backs to the walls. Just eyes on all the entry points here, so it's going to be difficult for the Hawks to make their way back through. They drop that wall.
That was a smooth transition, by the way, Observer over at McDonald's, the CT.
Prestige doing well to take 2. Kinetic up in a dangerous position here, trying to multitask his angles. Doing well so far.
Last
Matrix makes
player
eye contact, but
standing.
he can't take it. Sleep and Rescue were just watching his back. Nice to have that absolutely just revolutionary war style like line up and just everybody focus on the same angle. They don't have to worry about multitasking these doorways. There's just too much to swing on to as a Barracuda player. So, or sorry, it's a Hawks because it was a retake. So Barracudas find that 3rd point. There's 1 ult on the board. We've just used up 1 ult. It's been very slow on maybe orb grabbing or like kills per round.
One thing I want to point out, though, is that the Hawks that time, they didn't do their retake as they did in the
You want
previous
to
round.
play?
Just take
Let's
multiple
play.
angles. Instead, they all did it from 1. And I think that was their Achilles heel. That double angle push that they had to retake over on A for the previous round worked so well. And last round, just all of them tried to force their way through CT. Just not going to work out. There's 1 angle for multiple people to lock down as opposed to multiple angles pulling attention in every direction.
Yeah, it's interesting because like
Jets grounded.
Typhlocked takes an easy one.
Get another.
Yep, trying
Don't
to
be
stay
greedy.
safe here.
Don't listen to me, but I want you to get another.
Yeah, the casters want to see something interesting. They don't want to see you win.
No, I want to see you full ego a team. Just absolutely get 1 pick and be like, okay, there's someone else here. Go running in, solo human being blitz on an entire firing squad.
Matrix with a nice peek. Gets a little bit. I don't know if he saw both. But 1 definitely made contact there. Now they're pushing up on him. Chobot as well, holding his very sentinel position. He loves to hold. Absolutely baits Keikonen. And it's a good thing Keikonen can hold his own because he takes him out instead. Typhlocked now looking to get back on site. Keikonen on a tear. Finds a second. Is ready to
1
arrest
enemy
for more.
remaining. Spike down B.
And the Hawks, in a very dominating fashion, are able to hold down another round for themselves, not losing anyone. That is a great sign. Economy still not quite equalized, but it is going to make sure the Hawks are a little bit more comfortable going into this next round. They're going to be able to full buy. They have a lot of ults online, too. That's a great sign. It can help prevent people from dying. Or if someone does go down to a slow econ, our stage can res them. We'll have to wait and see. But now, the reverse is kind of happening for the Barracudas. If they do not win this round, they're going to be struggling for some creds.
Yeah, interesting you bring up the ult economy in the event of a flawless. It's just easier to achieve more ultimate unlocks. So we're going to see the knives come out for the Barracudas immediately. And she's looking to make her way down tube here.
Concealment.
About to make contact. Left Cho just ignores him. Keikonen now in the middle of the site, holding it down for Plastic Sleep. Looks like they're considering a serious rotate, especially after...
For you.
Oh, one wandering around. Barracudas just takes the knives out. Matrix didn't get to shoot anything. Chobot as well. Prestige had a great, like, just float around, feel out the other side. That's a nice one. If they play gentle onto A, they get everyone to rotate over there, send one lurker to pinch, and then B has already been checked out. So the rotate was easy. Keikonen looking like the next food for Prestige.
Don't give him the ace. Don't give him the ace. Don't give him the ace. Okay, we can do some KO on KO aggression. Prestige, no offense, but you don't need another ace in your pocket. Play the patient game. Play the patient game. You hear them.
Prestige thinks he's higher. The flick not quite down. Keikonen finds it. So it does break the ace. One left. It's Keikonen low health. They know where he's at. He's got 2 doorways to watch, and that's just too many. So Plastic Sleep finds him. Now creds are looking good for the Hawks still.
Yeah, but that round win still gonna kind of equalize things back out again. It's gonna give opportunities for the Barracudas. I believe almost everyone can get a full buy. I think maybe one person can't.
Yep, should be another good full gun round.
Be interested to see how this shakes out.
I would love to see the Hawks use either the knives or the KO suppress to retake.
I want them to do what they did in round 4, which...
Oh, a judge.
So pretty. To just, you know, back off, figure out what, get the intel, force out economy. Instead, we're gonna use wall and smoke from.
Yeah, the Hawks are tired of seeing these Barracuda push, so they've actually left 2 people on a great 50-50 on B side and are playing very defensively on A. It doesn't look like it was enough, so the rotate has to come out. Anyways, Barracudas, an absolute train, just forced their way right to anyways.
I understand that they're tired of it, but truly what worked for them was that patient playstyle. The let them use util. Let's back off. Maybe bait out some util using one of our own, but other than that, no more. And then re-engage knowing where everyone's at.
Yep, and that was a big Kinetic feed. 3 people just walked into the same sight line, giving an ace to Kinetic. Excellent done there. After a flawless ace, that means the other team is just feeling great on utility and on credits. So this should be a big round for the Barracudas, and even if they don't take it, the next one will be a big round. So they've got some serious momentum here, and you're right. The Hawks have got to re-examine the playstyle to be able to offset that momentum at all. So I would not be surprised if we actually saw a timeout coming up.
I'm here for a timeout. I understand the tactical timeout. We've seen Coach Moore here for the Broncos do that himself. With that being said, it looks like Hawks are not going to do that. Finally, 3 ults are online for 3 rounds in a row. They're going to use knives, come out for Jet, but Jet is holding very close around that angle, and Matrix goes down, still use while in knives. Actually had the shorty out, I think, when they're holding that angle.
I mean, that's a good setup for a 50-50, right? Like, they have to check left or right, and if they double swing, we still get, like, penetration fire could hit the back of the other guy. But that owl just kind of upset it. They had a good intro smoke as well, so the Barracudas really just shut down the Hawks on that one. A very clean round, and they still have the creds to back up those 3 deaths, no problem.
There was just...
It was just good entry utility by the Barracudas to get rid of what the Hawks thought was a solid defense. I think the Hawks are still trying to defend at the first bait, and it's, like you said, maybe a more relaxed playstyle would be something they'd like to try out.
A lot of people also don't understand, and I know that these players do that. As a duelist, you can start forward and back off. Even if it forces a tailwind out of a Jet or a cloud smoke, it's okay to start forward, get intel, disengage, fall back, as opposed to just forcing the fight right at a chokehold.
Barracudas now with 2 ults are looking to absolutely bulldoze this one. They drop their healer pretty quickly. Chobot playing very, very forward. Extension with them are taken through the wall by Kinetic, just playing after the bullets. Always refire through a smoke. Oh, Matrix makes a little eye contact and isn't feeling it. Kind of backs off. Barracuda still all 5 feeling good. Kinetic is able to res Plastic Sleep from his knock, and Keikonen sends him back down.
Being very forceful at double doors. He's going to take down 1. Milk did find the one just before that, so that's another round to end. And that goes in favor of the Barracudas. things started working out. They disengaged and re-engaged. Granted, I think had they waited just a little bit longer, it would have worked out better. Again, you just got to be a little bit more patient, and then we got an Odin pick. Oh, boy.
Yeah, they're feeling hot. So it's going to be a big rush on B, and we can see the posture of Barracudas is already...
Ugliest op in the game. I'm calling it now. It is gross.
They are so dead.
It's going to be a gentle beat just for something greedy. Ooh,
Ooh, a
Matrix
Marshall shot.
with a nice shot. Unfortunately, it wasn't a headshot, so they can't take that. But look at that repositioning.
Hey!
Kinetic was actually not ready for the second sight line. He was watching the same one and totally got taken with the double Marshall. That is a
Matrix
big
got
one.
another.
Matrix feeling big, takes 3 of them, and 1 of them was an op. That's just so much space, giving Hawks time to rotate over. There's still another op on the board. It is the Tour de Force from our recently
Spike
ulted
planted.
Chamber. Should be coming in back pretty soon here, but he's just not comfortable moving this space too quickly.
That was
Barracudas still have 2 alive. Keikunen looking to take space from the front.
Last
Find
player
Milk,
standing.
it's not quite there. Milk
One
takes him.
enemy
Chobot
remaining.
doing well, though, with his work.
All right, Chobot, breathe. You got this. It's a 1v1. You've got time. Lock down an angle. There's a Vandal
Teleport's
for you.
ready.
Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, you're making a lot of noise. You're making a lot of noise.
Good switch to the Vandal, though. A nice tap. Has to force Milk to come out, but look at that. The
Revealing
elbow is
area.
just out. Too much damage, not enough time. Milk is feeling good now. He can just back up. Absolutely plays after that. That was a fantastic.
Milk, I think you don't make it out. Oh, you are saved by production, swapping us over to this POV frame. I'm pretty sure we can say Milk probably didn't make it
I
out.
think he lived.
I don't think he did. That lineup for Milk, though, was just a little dirty, to be honest.
I liked it.
I'm here for it.
Use your utility. It's scary to take your utility out when you're in a downright melee of a gunfight because they could peek you at any time. But if you think your timing is that good, it pays off whenever you're right.
And we're going to have an early wall come out here from the Barracudas. We've seen that done more than once. You'd think Hawks start recognizing that it's not a fake. It's being used for entry.
Wow,
And
Matrix. What?
Welcome to my
Totally knows the lineup. Must have pinged that corner. Takes a good one. Gets a little bit greedy. Kinetic and Milk to find their one. Kinetic with a follow-up
planted.
now. Gonna drop the Viper's Pit to really secure the point. They've done that on top of the plant. So Hawks have got to really roll the boulder uphill here. It looks like they're considering doing it with Keikonen's help. They pull one in. Oh, very good bait on the Jet, taking care of Kinetic now. That was a 1-for-1, right? They made a 2-4 into a 3-3. Pretty big.
That was a beautiful red bait. As a safe
player
player, I
standing.
do typically say I am sorry repeatedly to whomever I'm about to res as I res them, and they're typically screaming
Last
what or no,
round
don't
before
do
the
it.
plant.
But that is an example of why you do it.
Milk, though, Defender for the Ages just shut them down.
It's
And
Milk. Did we expect anything
Found
less?
another 3. Milk good. Milk is not expired. Milk is good. Yeah, if that double swing was a little bit tighter, I think they could have taken Milk, and then one of them could have lived to go for the bomb. But ooh,
The
down to the
reaction
nitty-gritties.
on Milk doing damage onto the KO was just a little bit too slow. It's those twitch reflexes. You gotta get up a little bit more. And we're gonna have an early wall, awkward animation cancel. There, come out from Sage. We're gonna have a Molly maybe here from. Yeah, they're just gonna back off. I mean, they just burned a lot. Getting rid of that one square of the wall. We're gonna have an early pop flash, but everything works out for one. The wall went up and allowed Keikonen to actually disengage safely.
Last
No
player
damage on
standing.
them, but their last man standing. Kinetic picks up the 4-piece.
And that's a tough one because they knew where Kinetic was. He had already taken
Switching
one in
sides.
mid, right? He took their chamber in mid, and that info should have been like, watch the doors. There's an ulting top fragger coming through. But Keikonen, I think, amidst the heat of trying to disengage that, could not.
The human being carrying the ladder just hurt themselves. That's why I looked so concerned. Stay safe, everyone. All right, one ghost by, 2 light shields, 1 ghost by for the other squad. Looks like nothing else on the other team. I'm be interested to see who wins first pistol round, because I think Barracudas very heavy-handedly won the first pistol round last time. Let's see if they can do it on defense. As Breeze is so defensively heavy. Ooh, my favorite spot. I love being a rat right where Milk is at. I love defending from right there. You just triggered a split.
It's a little scary. It's very nice. That Sheriff gives a beautiful 2, and one of those was the spike. Yeah, game's over. They just had a beautiful setup here. Barracudas were ready for Hawks to want a good A push. So they shut that one down pretty quickly. Unfortunately, that means that their guns are just going to be so much better. So the Hawks are just looking to just take care of something, right? They know they're slated to lose this one after they're on a save when the other gets to buy. The problem is they have got to do a lot of damage to set them up for a great next round, because this is the last round they're allowed to give away.
The unfortunate part, well, the one good thing that they can actually keep in mind is that Milk can't position in that same spot twice, at least not twice in a row, this early on, because it's too predictable. People will typically check it. You have to give credit where it's due. Do not believe anyone will not rush in to look at that angle.
Hawks are actually going for a spike in pocket default. That spike was not seen as the announcer didn't say anything, so it looks like it's being threatened, though. Yeah, Barracuda's definitely feeling the pressure here. Have rotated accordingly. 1 in mid. Might not be ready for a Milk. Hopefully they get caught off guard here. Oh, almost a knife.
Nailed them.
Yeah, Matrix takes an easy one there. Spike is down, though. Hawks not feeling so comfortable here.
Last player standing.
1v2, but that chamber's really hurt. Kekona can get this one back in their favor.
Taking a beautiful peek, but that's just not the pen for that wall. Decides to flash.
Oh!
Doesn't wait for a Prestige. Decides to up the pace, play forward, and finds it.
Match point.
Sure enough, Hawks did do some damage, but is it enough
Possibly,
to prevent this match point?
Possibly Prod can give us that quick economy checkup here. Take a quick look at what everyone's going to go in for this lineup, or I can take a quick guess and say the side of the Barracudas are going to go still with half light buys, whereas the side of the Hawks going to go forcing it. I do think we have an Odin on someone's team. Which team? I can't really tell.
Yeah, the Hawks have to force this one, right? There's no reason to save, because if...
Yeah, there's no buying for next.
Right. So you'd have to be very, very confident in your anti-eco. Kinetic playing
oh, no.
right through.
We
It's the package.
That.
Both of them are there, and they're ready. They're looking for extension. They're hugging this wall. Ooh, they saw, again, what a chase. Going to come smooth down this one. The knife is out, though.
Ooh.
Maybe playing
No,
Matrix. They
Matrix.
hear the orb. They know it can't be faked. Oh, no. They just barely missed, but at least there's 2 of them. Now they're running from extension, trying to make it into A site. Interesting little flank there. Unfortunately, there's nobody on A site, so it doesn't give them a lot. They're going to have to rotate back over to B.
I love the attention pull there. That was pretty good. It looks like they're going to be coming through CT, the area that I called McDonald's earlier, for anyone that's like, ooh, what are they calling McDonald's? Nah, they're going to go through mid, okay.
Oh, and Extension's timing was almost beautiful. He may find both of them here.
Just go slow, Extension. Don't have your knife out. Put the knife away.
One enemy remaining.
Thank you.
What a callback to an earlier episode. To see Extension, let them go free, and then they be the downfall. So Hawks does take a good round there, and they need it because their creds were low and still are. Typhlotic with no creds and didn't even get the full shield. They're hurting, and they would love to walk away with just some more points before the end of the game.
Okay, light shields are some of the most underrated utility that you can purchase in the game. I mean, like, you take a headshot from a Vandal, you're dead anyway. So, you know, going for a light shield buy ain't always that bad. Unless you're one of those people who has someone on their team who always says, but my econ and only buys light shields, then you might want to be concerned.
Wow, Redskin, a little bit too much time on this screen there. Not feeling super great. Does redeem it with a beautiful kill there. Goes for the rematch and finds it. Pup Redskin doing well. Looking for some more. Oh,
they were 30
the
health,
reflinch. They were just being totally swarmed. Surprised they didn't back out and reapproach that, but
Last
Typhlotic
player
now,
standing.
they're just too quick. The entire defense is going to be here.
Yep.
Defenders win.
You know, Greg, going out alone can only get you so far. We definitely, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. I mean, Kinetic and Prestige. Can we ask for anything less? Or sometimes, it's just relying on the information that your team gave you. And if you're Milk, it's a hope, some util, and a dream. But you can definitely see that how talented all these players are. Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched teammates, and I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Halter. And if you're watching and haven't checked out the Esports Tower clubs, you definitely should. It's a fast track to help you rank up. So game number 1 goes in favor of the Barracudas, and we're going to finish out the series on Ascent, theoretically speaking, if the Barracudas win in the same fashion. I don't anticipate this one being as in favor of the Barracudas, because Ascent should be the pick of the Hawks, so that they might have a plan here, but I do believe that puts Barracudas on defense first, correct?
It could. I think it's up to them which one they pick, right? Like one picks site, one picks side. So if they want that, then yes. The Barracudas, right, did have the home field advantage, we could say, on the last map, but they could also be very comfortable on Ascent, too. Right? Just because you picked it doesn't mean that the other team doesn't like it. I
mean, Chambers are really strong on Ascent.
True.
If you know that midfield control, that middle lane, you just lock it down. You can give so much intel to your team. You can be like, they're leaning towards going A site, they're on tiles, things of that nature. Just information is so critical in this game. But we are going to throw to a quick break before we go on to Ascent, so we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Grab some water. Hopefully don't grab a ladder like the person behind me, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at Count.com.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at Count.com.
This week's broadcast, the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Esports or Game Pants Esports Arena. And we are jumping back into our fall rumble. The Barracudas and Hawks are set up to go into game number 2. The Barracudas are looking to sweep the Hawks and pull the rug out from underneath them, winning in a full force and preventing a game 3. I'm still your host, Artie Rain, and on desk with me is still Greg Smith. So we're going into Ascent. We started discussing it before we went into break, but because this is the Hawks pick, theoretically speaking, they can come out on top of the Barracudas, but the Barracudas just won in a very dominating fashion in their last game.
Yep, and then you started talking about the actual comfort picks of the Barracuda that kind of synergized with this map.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chamber is a good call as well, but we just saw Milk with some crazy lineups, and having Milk on the Sova on Ascent, I think, would be super valuable.
Okay, but also for the Hawks, it's kind of a days of old pick, but going with the Chamber with the mid lane control for Ascent with a Sage to kind of float and determine where they need to go based off the intel a Chamber is going can be very strong as well. And slows such as going into trios or going into tiles, if you know lineups from both defenders and attacker side, can be so huge. Or you can just literally throw a slow down the mid lane and get to the back where the back of the catwalk is and help your Chamber get an early pick. You just have to know those lineups, and my question is, does the Typhlosion know those? My odds are heavily leaning towards yes.
Yeah. I'll always vote for a Battle Sage if we can get it.
Let's go! But before we jump into our Ascent map, we actually want to give a quick moment to congratulate all of our Esports Tower Club members who've graduated from the clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last year, Esports Tower Club members have received over 3.9, and that money just keeps going up and up. $1 million in scholarship awards. These students not only work hard on their in-game play, but work hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We cannot be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting in the future. If you end up playing against us here for the Bronco home squad, let us know. Please don't change your name. If you do change your name, just, give us a quick nudge on Twitter. If you end up as being a Bronco, it'll be awesome to have you as part of the family. Nonetheless, congratulations to each and every single one of you. And now, this is it. This could be it. Will it be it? I don't know. But with that being said, Vitamin Shop does have all of the things necessary for any gamer anywhere. And to check out their latest deals, scan the QR code now for their latest products.
Yeah, we've talked before about this map being, I don't want to say versatile, but it's available to a lot of playstyles just because it has a tiny bit of everything. It's kind of the map of maps.
I mean, zero offense to this, but okay, never mind. I'm not seeing the one
Select
pick that
your
I've seen
agent.
come out on this map that's very concerning, and that is the Yoru pick. But we do have Kinetic. I asked you about it before broadcast. I guess I have ESP. Harbor.
Also interesting.
Greg
Milk
is like hugging himself right
Milk
now.
is on the Omen.
I think Greg is very concerned.
I love Omen.
I love Omen too, but the Harbor pick is scaring me. That's a bold move.
I'm excited to see the Harbor pick. I'm excited to see Harbor play. This will be the first ET cast I think that we've got Harbor on. So we'll have to see
I'm lucky then.
how they use that. I'm just so like caught off guard with Milk taking the Omen. He just played so flawlessly on the Sova, and Sova.
You don't even need it.
Sova, Odin, Ascent, B. That was the dev intention, right? That is clearly the beta for the game.
Most definitely, but we got Typhlotic going with the Sage lineup very early on, but playing kind of close to that garage location, possibly looking to get a wall up to look into garage. Some early, they did buy wall round 1. That in itself is a bold move.
Moving right into main game. Offense moving pretty smoothly onto the A hallway here, actually very forward. That's going to give Chobot the first contact. Sees at least 2 of them make their way over into Grapes and try to send extension to be very forward. Just going to hang out. That's enough. Matrix
Spike
finds
down
one.
A.
Chobot also judging wait for
Prestige done well to line up and get one. Sees Cho again.
Doors are dropping, so it gives some intel. There's someone over on the left, but the question is, did they stay there or not? K-Conan peeking forward could be that answer. Now we are going to have an evacuation attempt come out. So Omen on Omen. Question is, who's going to peek better? And it's going to be K-Conan, who just stood their ground and did not back off.
Definitely paid off picking that frenzy, and I think that was kind of the mindset going into the round, because he played forward whenever he could. There wasn't like a retreat mindset there at all. Definitely.
To be honest, I didn't see anything from the Harbor that round.
No, unfortunately not. He kind of hung back. He came in from Garden and then got taken on a rough pinch. So there wasn't a whole lot, but Kinetic.
Hopefully we can stay over here a little bit.
He'll get to see plenty.
I want to see what the Sage.
Water rising.
Okay.
Typhlotic playing forward. Okay, Conan has big potential here. Has to back up that Spectre. Not feeling comfortable trying to take all of that.
Ooh, okay. Are we going to get a self-heal? Yep.
Spike planted.
Chill there for a bit, Sage. Be careful. Lots of smoke util being dropped here. Oh. Ooh. Look on your left. Check it again. Check it again. You are all getting... Oh, no. Oh, they're all getting triggered.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, Kinetic finds a great one there. He looks for one on the roll around. Kinetic finds another, and Typhlotic finally replies, and it's an easy defuse for the Hawks.
Pick up some weapons, hopefully, if you're a Hawks player.
It looks like the Hawks played a good first round, which gave them an easy roll into the next one, but now this is the bonus round, so they kind of have to hold what they have, and Barracudas get full guns after that loss and save. So Hawks are just looking to make as much damage as they can on the Barracudas roster, but...
Wait, Okay, I thought our Sage was going with the Grim, just, you know, nothing but a Sheriff at heavy shields the entire game, and I'm going to be like, okay, my friend, it's time to rethink a little bit.
Hawks have settled in their buy and are very, very positioned to A-side. One down mid just to keep things interesting, as well as Matrix. Ooh, got that ult coming out already.
Was that the Harbor ultimate?
That was.
I'm sad I didn't get to see it.
Yep.
Spike
All right,
planted.
they're moving on to Sight here. K-Conan to find one. Plastic Sleep. All of the action is out. That. Ooh, it's already down, so Sight is already down, and Hawks have to play in, but there's only one person guarding from hell. They find one. Typhlotic and Tobok playing excellently.
Oh, okay, you went in. You got info, though. Your team knows this Omen Milk is inside hell. You just have to
standing.
swing and peek together, not solo.
Reposition was too good, and Prestige takes his 50-50 fight. And there goes one to Barracudas. We expected that, but the Hawks had just such a close chance. I mean, it was down to a 2-2. Just couldn't make it happen.
You don't need a solo peek and angle. You can play a little bit patiently. Time is still your friend in these instances, people.
It's a tough one because it's kind of a pinch situation threat, because each of them are running a little a 1v1, and if your teammate loses their 1v1, you're in a not good situation. So you want to get done with yours before the other team, before the other pair finishes their 1v1. So there's a lot of dynamic happening. It's understandable that he wanted to play a little bit higher pace. It's a mid push from the Barracudas now. trying to move up to his second hole. Matrix gets a good play on the one, but is not ready for the second. Kinetic looking to find something. Doesn't even use any util, and Matrix goes down. Now they're ready to make their way through Garden onto A site. It's going to be the first real Killjoy action that we've seen here.
Oh, you're right. We've kind of seen Chobot in passing a little bit through mid, but they typically go down very quickly.
Yeah,
One Storm Grenade's going to get popped here, trying to just zone and get some info. They're going to be retreating back into Hell, take some damage, but their information, their location is known by 3 people. They're living, but that's a one-way.
You can see their feet on that one. That's
Yeah,
a tough
that's a
one-way.
one-way.
Trying to get out of there. They're already throwing the snake bites.
Last player
And getting
standing.
caught in that Hell with util that can fight that is really rough. Right, like our Omen didn't have a whole lot of options last time, but with the Viper and the Omen, I mean, they were just blind. So now, it's pretty easy. The site has been cleaned up. Barracudas are able to take a nice one. It is down to 2-2. That equalizer point is out, and the momentum has shifted a bit.
Right here.
All right, so
Right here.
one Marshall
Right
pick,
here.
one Odin. Looks like a full save round for the side of the Hawks. Ooh, are they? That is. All right. I'm seeing some stinger picks. I see one stinger pick. Okay. All right. Never mind.
You want to fight it?
Launching smoke.
Ooh, a big util dump. We already saw Harbor
Yes!
throw some in there.
Okay, Conan picked up 2 though. That was huge.
Dave goes down to Milk.
Extension gonna use to suppress.
Quite a few ults being dropped. Extension now trying to play
Check your
forward,
left.
look for something here. Yeah, didn't unfortunately, but it's all right.
I mean, it gives info. You get a second life. That's okay. Just run it. Just run it. Go get that
Good
res.
one.
Yes, Matrix.
An easy res there, but unfortunately that means the Barracudas
It's
only have that clock to
enemy
fight.
remaining.
They did not expect him to be there at all. There was
Spike
no
down A.
counting.
the cat. The swinging people. Just play patiently. You
The
got
Reaper and
time.
the Odin, yep, gonna milk them out from one side, but they're not there. They're in
They
hell.
whiffed it.
Not played to check with the knife. Looked at the feet. Where were the basics? Oh, Plastic Sleep could have had that in the bag. So tight, a little under the pressure. It slips around, and the Hawks take a 3rd point, back on top.
Honestly, if you were in that situation, would you have mollied Hell as opposed to trying to molly around Jen?
I think I would have, just because I feel like he peaked both sides of Jen at that point, and we've also had so much like Hell commotion. It feels like it's an auto pick from some people trying to hide from those looking guns. Whether I had mollied either one of those, though, checking a loaded sight with a knife is just asking for it.
Yes, because we were fully aware that there was a Sage there. It does very much so heavily concern me when I see people rotating into locations where they know there's someone with their knife out.
Yep. Honestly, never run in contested ground either. Ooh, a good one-way. He's just got like 6 pixels to work with, but Conan tries to strap it anyways. Has got to move back off that one. Does get some damage off the Plastic Sleep, but it's not quite enough. They have taken the ground. After getting Garden, Typhlotic now kind of has a lot to deal with.
They have Matrix looking from heaven, though. This could be enough of a...
There's quite a bit of utility there to keep them at bay. He finds
Spike
one.
down
They can
A.
play through if they want now. The door is still open. Oh, and they just flank all the way through now. Matrix owns the ground, and Typhlotic, where does he go?
Spray up there. Just spray up there.
Straight
They're
back to
so
hell.
low. Look at them.
Looks for something, but I think people are
Spike
catching on to the whole hell thing.
Yeah.
Harbor wall falls.
One
Just as
enemy
Viper's
remaining.
hit goes up, though, and Harbor, I think,
And
did have their ult online, but did not.
Kate Conan said always spray. No reason you shouldn't just spray through
I agree.
the vision denial. And finds another one. I mean, I think I can remember 3 different times where we've seen people just like kind of spray into the smoke and find something.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're all in there. You're gonna hit something. Unless they're all on top of each other, in which case one person might hit something.
Yeah, they could hit all of them.
If you don't have really anything like the crazy Yoru pick, which honestly, who plays Yoru right now in the state of the game?
No one.
Exactly.
Should ever play Yoru.
Unless you're absolutely cuckoo, you don't play Yoru.
Unless you're Ethos. Ethos can play Yoru. Everybody else not really.
So, yeah, unless you have a Yoru who's willing to run in using their Dimensional Rift and tell you where people are standing,
And then
the
leave.
only opportunity to get util, well, to get econ is to, like, throw util into it or to walk in or spray and break. You got 3 options. What do you have in your pocket is the question.
They'll probably buff them.
Oh yeah, I think Yoru will come back at some point.
It's unfortunate, but I think you're right.
Wow.
Sorry. I just don't like the playstyle. Okay, Conan, feeling good here. A good paranoia coming out. Oh, the utility's right on top of him, though. A good little buzz. Not feeling fantastic. Sends another one
That
out.
was so much util just dropped onto Keikonen.
Yeah, Barracuda's really committed to the
Still
site, and they've
dropping
taken
a
no
lot.
ground. He's not even there.
He's
They're
not
playing
there.
right on top of it.
That was a trap.
The
and
best
Yoru fell
shadow
for it.
step of all time. He's still playing through the smoke here, trying to find something. Milk.
I think he had
lives
like
another day.
6 different util dropped on him in that location. Had he still been there, it would have equaled 6.
They were just dumping AoE damage.
Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. You are a king, my friend.
The problem is if there's not enough communication, it just tries to get some chip damage off, and it ends up just dropping the whole,
Everyone's kid.
like, toolkit. Yep.
They threw the kitchen sink at him and it didn't work.
Well, they threw the kitchen sink where he was. So I am totally wrong. Barracudas did not have to commit there despite running fresh out of.
Everything they had.
So they are
Spike
making a dry
planted.
rotate to A. They do take the space, but now they don't have the ability to back off and hold lineups. So they've got to just buckle down and hold the site. Rezkin hoping for a cheese. Does find one. Thinks that the other one might be
Over-rotated.
too far behind. Yep, swings a little bit far. Takes one in the ear. That's all right. A 1-for-1 is something they can be okay with.
Last player standing.
Yeah, a little bit aggressive there.
Hawks, though, they do end up out on top.
An extension.
Defuse the spike.
I couldn't hear how high the spike was ticking, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Did that communication come a little too late for the defuse? But Riguchi, 13.10
Yep.
seconds on the clock. This is definitely showing up to be much more equal than our previous game. However, Hawks are on defense, so I can't really say too much now. It's really going to be the offensive round for the Hawks.
That's true. And yeah. An even half isn't necessarily a fair half, but we're getting some great gameplay here. I mean, it's nice to see a variation in how often are we like holding and not going for retake play, how often is our retake coming into people on site, and how often are they off site, and we have to really clear a large area. So there's a lot of things happening here. Chobai takes a fresh one onto Plastic Sleep, looking to get a first blood within the 5 seconds. That is a check off his to-do list.
The stage is holding very far forward.
Beautiful
Uses
slow.
the wall and the slow.
This is an old strat. We saw this all the time.
I used to do this myself.
We're okay with this, but they've broken the wall. They're going to start playing forward here. Some one-way smokes up to try to buckle down and guard in, but that harbor wall just making it impossible to see there.
It's a double-edged sword, though. If that harbor wall's not at the perfect angle, it can really block your team's ability to do a lot of entry as well, because it kind of makes it so people on the defense can hide.
It's true. That's one of the beautiful things about the game is that defense and offense switch so quickly. I mean, as soon as spike is down, you've switched to defense. So Barracudas here holding in center. We know.
Ooh, one way created by Keikonen.
Yep, Keikonen is.
Oh yeah, they're hesitating now. They're
good
like,
to say.
ooh.
They can wait it out. The problem is that smoke was well timed. I mean, I think the Omen smoke lasts like 25 seconds, and they only have like 35 on. So they're sure enough going to throw some of their own U2 forward. Keikonen tries to play through it. He's got a lot to watch. Tries to multitask that. Does get one just because of that great paranoia. He's going to look to peek again, but oh, he gambles just right and gets the spike down. That's huge. They don't have enough time for it now. They've got to pick the spike back up and sprint
look at
in.
10 seconds
Looking for one.
Ooh,
There's a
nice.
great shutdown with no
planted.
utility. They do find it. The clock
player
resets, but
standing.
Milk coming charging through. Finds one with the alt fire right to the face extension. A pop flash through. Looking to retake this zone, but he's the only one, so Rezkin finds it, and now a 5-3. Barracuda's looking to close the gap.
Okay, so Keikonen almost had that tree on lockdown. I'll be honest, we might even see it here in the replay, yes. So had Keikonen just played this a little more patient, they could have actually gotten that in their favor because they would have let the Viper rotate through into point, and then the one who was trailing behind, the one that ultimately spelled their doom, would have been rotating in front of them at that moment, and they could have at least picked off that person, but still had their life.
Right, the typical trigger discipline to find the twofer instead of walk into a trade situation. But then you've got another person on site that could be taking care of your ally, so something to be careful of. Milk apparently made just too much noise, and Sage armadilloed right up, dumping the utility there. There's a wall and a slow. Might be dropping that second slow like we saw last turn, sure enough. Considering it, if they get any noise. Doesn't know if it's a re-hit or not. the Omen ult. Oh. Had to undo. Was sitting right in the nest. There's just too much sightline. Matrix looking to hold it down. This Garden has been a big point. They've been nice and slow. He's going to swing peek this and be absolutely caught. Yep, tries to get 2 out. Has the cloud burst out of there. Didn't have the dash ready.
I think they saw 2 people and were like, oh no, and now they know that there's more util being dumped than what they initially, than the agents they initially saw, so they know there's more than 2. Oh no, why would you peek with your knife out? Oh no!
Yep. It would have been a good jump peek for a long sight line, but I don't think he was ready for Kinetic to be so close, especially after Kinetic was making waves. Dare I say making waves. Down Garden, so.
Ooh. Wait, where did Milk come from?
Yeah, Milk getting...
What?
Spike planted.
No, they had that space.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
Yeah, he was just looking to check the mud and didn't check all of Boathouse, so no punishment for it. Extension recognizes there's a lot of people pretty deep in there. It's going to be a very difficult push here, especially if they're playing that angle.
It's a great knife, but unfortunately Barracuda's 1 round off the equalizer.
Yeah, they're catching up fast, which is scary considering that at this half switch, it could be a little bit of a landslide. So Hawks definitely have to get a good foothold.
This isn't the landslides, though.
I know. We've not seen the landslides play, what? The volcanoes. What was it called?
The meteors? In a
The
landslide?
meteors. Wow, how times have changed.
I think Greg just disassociated for a moment with the realization of how long he's been casting
I've been
Valorant.
casting for a minute now. So, typical timeout as we see big momentum change here. Chobot not happy with that last one as he just got caught off guard in the mud by a Matrix hanging out in Boathouse.
Down. Check your angles.
But, no, it's been a pretty high-paced game. I mean, there's a lot of util dumping going on as we see contested ground really being fought for from behind the toolkit, which we like to see. But it makes it, there's a lot to think about. And we talked about how this plays into comfort pick earlier too, because relying so heavily on your util means that you have to rely heavily on the util of your teammates. And if not everybody has studied Harbor like Kinetic has, they don't really know what they have in the bag.
That's true. It's just, I'm when we're talking about util, I'm just having flashbacks to that moment where we had Kekona in one corner who uses their shadow step to get somewhere else and just watches the spot where they were standing have 4 more things dumped on top of it. And that was definitely Barracuda still warming up to their quote-unquote comfort pick, so to speak. No offense, Kinetic, but Harbor is in no way, shape, or form a comfort pick because of how new he is in Esports Tower. Let's be honest.
Matrix, good trigger control there to take a very fast one.
And the orbital strike came down too at that moment, so oof.
Yep, they were hoping for a fast push, and it got absolutely quenched, quelled. Very big split push here as Barracuda send 1 down B to feel it out. Looks like they're liking it because there's a lot of defensive utility coming out from the Hawks here on A site, so they're ready to rotate around. Looks like the Hawks are feeling it though, and have sent 1 far. Kinetic find the Keiko in.
That water bubble is just so strong. Enjoy the pretty wall. You can't do anything.
Yeah, extension. Very comfortable to just wait for some reinforcements. Matrix here now. Knife out and ready to roll. It's going to be making their way downtown. Chobot already on the wrong site. Has got to make their way all the way over to B. Barracudas have had lots of time now to really buckle down onto this site. Feeling comfortable. Kinetic.
There was a great slow straight on top of Spike, but unfortunately, oh, Chobot comes in. Lockdown gets dropped, but it does. The angle that Chobot uses this lockdown creates a slightly wider area where people can hide from over in tight mud than if they did it from the attacker's perspective.
You move.
Ooh, Chobot really playing the lines there. Almost had a great kind of monkey bar swing from Util. Doesn't quite find it. Now Matrix. Oh, just playing against both those doorways is difficult. But yeah, interesting because you kind of had 2 options where you can give them this like false sense of security by leaving that open spot and being like they're all in Boathouse, just AoE Boathouse, just bomb Boathouse, or really just taking the entire site. You have to get in a little bit further to plant it, but taking the entire site and then like hoping that they all are out. So looks like that false sense of security wasn't enough.
We are now equalized 5 a side. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. Prestige is gonna leave the spike. I'm wondering who's gonna. Are they gonna default it without spike in hand?
Yeah,
no.
they do that a lot.
They're
Spike in pocket.
They're grabbing it.
Prestige down the main lines for this. Just gonna throw off some threatening shots. Just play through the wall. Let them know that they might be there. They're gonna peek. They're gonna peek onto 2 people, but one didn't have their gun out. Kinetic and Milk each to find one. That's a big. That usually doesn't happen that early. Hawks not feeling super comfortable here. Kekonen does a great
Ooh, and a free
frenzy
gun.
hold. That is such a bonus.
I don't know if you can hear me clapping for you, dude, but that was huge.
Matrix with a beautiful share of holding this big point that's been super important earlier in the game. Tries to find one through the wall and just not going to be there. Didn't back up quite enough, so Prestige got a free one. Now Kekonen from off-site is not feeling like moving in until he knows that spike is down to default.
Patiently. I mean, the thing is that, like, if they play patient, they wait here, even wait for this utility to go down. They could theoretically trap someone. Nah, there's so much util getting dumped here at Archway that basically guarantees no one's coming out to go drop into wine or anything. Oh, instead they're gonna push Kekonen. Had Kekonen just backed up a little bit faster and gotten into that corner, they might have survived until they peeked through, but that Odin spells disaster for so many people trying to hide inside utility like that. Let me see Sage doing what Sages do, which is holding that animation for the res, because it looks pretty.
Yeah, they really just used that Harbor utility to push Kekonen out. And it kind of felt bad for Kekonen as he, like, moved across and then decided to shadow step over. And there's no mind game to it. He's just trying to avoid all of the util that's being dumped there.
And
because
he's done it quite well so far. He has his best
sleep.
util taker.
Oh, no, that could have been a big one, but Chobot was holding a little bit forward. That Molly does get tossed.
Begging for heals, Sage, please.
the sprint to Sage. Matrix feeling hot, apparently, is going to stand right on top of the wall.
This is a bold statement, but they're going to drop back down. I don't think they recognized that anyone was at tiles, but the ones that were backed off. I think this is going to be a B push. It is. They see util coming out. They know that at least Omen was there. They did damage on someone else, so 2, possibly more, is the information they have so far. And Kekonen finds 1. Milk finds 2! And now we're at a 2v2 situation.
Excellent ground keeping by Milk there. Prestige to find 1, too. Chobot. Typhlotic. Watching from the back. Probably didn't like that plant.
Your duty is not over.
Gonna bring one out. This is a good time too. A 3v2 now with 1 low health. They've got to play into this Viper's Pit, which isn't their favorite.
Yes, grab
That's the way to do it. Odin here is gonna feel great. Gonna feel out just an initial stand spot, and then just totally sweep right through. Oh no. Prestige to find 3K.
Oh no, and they're gonna be able to grab
Wraps
that
the round up. Now
no, they don't have time to grab it.
They don't need it.
Oh yeah, and a run anyway.
5-7. Barracudas up by 2. They're on the defensive side here now. And if that's their comfortable side on this map, they could have a big push here, right? We expected the Hawks to need a big foothold to really stand strong in the second half. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how this goes. I do think that there is an opportunity for Chobot to have a little bit more success, though, because as weird as it sounds, having a Killjoy on attack can do a lot. We'll have to see if they do the process that I'm thinking of, though.
That's fair, and we've seen Sentinels do excellently on a flank, too. Looks like Barracudas are playing pretty far forward onto A. They've felt it out. We've got a lot of noise on B, too, so this rotate should be pretty quick, but are they going to expect that much stationed in mid? Yeah, as the Hawks just move right out of there. Now coming down through mid again. Yeah, Barracuda is just kind of shuffling where they want to stand here, holding A. Gonna break that wall ahead of time. Hawks already on site, holding the ground. Nothing crazy yet. Kinetic playing forward, finds 1. All the discipline to not be greedy for another. Plastic Sleep finds one through the wall. Always should use those. Vision denials. A good molly into the Jenny area. Pretty solid, just smooth
Launching
gameplay
smoke.
here. Plastic Sleep looking for 2 under the hell, but doesn't. What a timing. They're just playing ring around the rosy. Finally finds one, the other as well,
So
right
much
there.
spam.
Looking for something. There's just so much
on your
sight
hat.
denial. Oh, goes for a pretty long tap on that one when he knows that somewhere in the maze of smokes lies Chobot. So Chobot does find a good one there.
I mean, there was a lot of spam into these smokes that were inside hell. Just you had a 50-50 shot. Well, actually, it's 25% chance of picking the right corner to spam down inside hell there, and you just, unfortunately, you picked wrong.
It's 50%, right? You either get him or you don't.
That's true, but you know, there's 4 corners that people could have been standing in. But then you lock it down to just the 2 where the smoke was. Yeah, you're at 50-50, and you really failed that one.
Barracudas now with another nice, heavy default feel. They want to get some info ahead of time, but they don't want to scare anybody. Playing too high pace, kinetic, looking for something. Wow, Extension was just hanging out there. Did not try to flee or fight back. Matrix could have a beautiful advantage onto at least one of these, but to take both could be tricky. They're both gonna turn off of it. Oh, that fake out with the dot timed up well as the other smoke goes down, gets caught. It's already a 3v3. Hawks looking to make their way onto A site. Kikunin caught with utility out. Rezkin finds them. Typhlotic with new info is able to trade. And they're setting up for a walk away. Gonna have that wall up as well as a bot or 2 right on top of the spike. And they just head outside. No, Typhlotic stays close. Anticipating a harsher push. Prestige and Milk up top, ready on the defense. Kind of the fallback defense. Chobot, long angle, sees one.
One enemy remaining. Last
Takes
player
one
standing.
out. Looking for something Milk though. Being constantly fought. Oh, the utility dropped by Chobot. Plays for the kill and finds it, but that's just not enough time. Chobot has set up excellently. Barely makes the half.
Just, Milk sticking it. Oof. Okay, Conan gets just immediately tapped. We're going to push through over towards Wine. Tap the... I mean, Milk got some great entries, but it wasn't enough. Oh, are we going to... You're not going to... What? What's the plan?
He might.
Nah. Nar.
It was good seeing Chobot to have a disciplined setup that really paid off in the end. And the thing that's disciplined about it is understanding the win con, right? Never got the kill. In fact, had to go down for it, but did find... did find the round win.
A lot of noise being made over by
Yeah,
tree.
you might get something exciting here. Yeah, we're going to send that first utility on out. That wall is set up, totally encompassing all of Catwalk so he can make his way downtown. Kinetic. Ooh. This could be a team killer. No, Extension watching
play
the flank
patient,
guard.
play patient. I mean, like, you drop that wall, it kind of
Spike
tells
down
people, but now we
A.
lost Kinetic. Are we going to rotate back? No, we actually have the attackers dropping the KJ ultimate. Lockdown is in place, so that's going to force the our Harbor to back off, but is he going to pick anybody off? I don't think so. They've all backed up, and again, it creates that false sense of security, but because they did not engage, they're choosing to disengage. I think it might have baited some people.
Yeah, quite the rotate away from the site there. I mean, Harbor back in CT. Interesting after we see such an investment into A. I mean, that ult really didn't go anywhere. I wonder if that was miscommunication. Anyways, they're out of it. Looking to fight A again, dropping some utility in Garden, take that space.
30 seconds left.
Playing on the site, still so much vision denial. Chobot is able to walk right on and find one along with Matrix. Matrix does get traded, but now this beautiful setup, making sure nobody can take that default defuse too easily. Speaking of the defense, making our way on the site.
Last player
Just
standing.
waiting and want Chobot. Chobot. What's the plan here, bestie? Okay. Chobot is just waiting. We know, oh, there's a lot of util dumped in front of Wine. They're just gonna stick it. Chobot swings, finds Prestige, is gonna back off towards Wine, but Milk is there for the backup. Doesn't matter. Kinetic was playing the body shield role as well in case there was extra bullets being dropped down, but there wasn't enough. There wasn't even a setup for post-plant play there from Chobot. I wonder if they had any util left to do post-plant.
They did throw 1 or 2 down, but I think it was gunned out pretty soon. That's one of the things about there being 3 people on a plant. It is so easy to say, oh, we'll just body some shots for 1 or 2 of you. Or like, there's no way they can shoot all 3 of us by the time that one of us gets them, so I should probably be able to last. It's just so much easier to stick a defuse when you have that support, and because of that, I'm surprised that Chobot waited so long. Did find one, but it wasn't before the half, so Milk had an easy time getting it.
I want to see Kinetic use this ultimate. I want to see POV on Kinetic, please, when we think they're going to use it.
Ooh, play over the wall.
Matrix, I see you. You're giving me heart palpitations, but I see you. That was a lot of space closed very quickly, and we're going to have some conflict occur here inside Market very soon if this rotation's pulled off correctly by this Jet, who's instead going to back off into the corner and wait as there's been exchanges in mid, but they get pinched off instead. Yikers. Kinetic probably isn't even going to use their ult this half, and I'm going to be sad.
Nope, unfortunately not. Hawks now. Still Spike in pocket, just watching mid, hoping.
Typhlotic.
Yeah, the Typhlotic can just clean this site up for him. He's going to be moving on with Kekonin. They are committing to the site. This smoke is about to drop.
Oh, that's a lot of util.
Yeah, they make their way in. He just dumped most of the bag. He's still got a shadow step left. They're going to throw up that wall, escorting in the Spike. Spike is on their way in. As a reply, we see Barracudas making their way in. Here it is. Oh, tries to get out of the way, but still gets a little bit concussed. Considering the ult out.
Gosh, that ult is just so oppressive to anyone that has to deal with it.
Ooh.
Fired into hell. We do have Prestige, takedown Typhlotic. With that, the attacker, I can English. Attackers are going to win that one out with a sliver of health alive on our KJ and Omen still full health.
Yeah, the rounds are moving pretty smooth, but I mean, it's still just, it's close.
I'm sensing
it's still
an
close.
overtime.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I'm sensing the moment where when I'm playing Valorant and both teams are post 11 rounds in, and I literally have to call my partner over to my desk so I can run to the restroom.
Right. It's interesting how much the map change and the agent change can really affect the game outcome.
It makes them extremely long. I love it, but it's also painful.
Oh, Plastic Sleep with a good first few bullets, but couldn't hold it. Chobot to find that one in the fight. Kinetic. He's a nice one. Right forward.
Go in your face, right inside of that water bubble.
Matrix takes so much damage out of Kinetic.
Kinetic is 7
Spike
health.
planted.
That is, you pull out the pistol and just get a bit minor outskirt of a spray right click on them and they go down. But the plant has gone down. Matrix is also going to fall. Prestige picking them up. Shadow step onto the high ground. Does mean the info was given, but Bill doesn't look at Kekonin and suffers the consequences. Got to keep those ears open.
Now, a 1v2 Barracudas. Just one left, sitting right on top of the Spike. The util is there by Chobot. Chobot. This defensive util on the retake has been so beautiful. It's gotten so many, so much extra time out of these retakes.
Again, back and forth. We're pretty. I'm not calling this either way. Ascent was obviously the pick here for the side of the Hawks for a reason. It's definitely, the Hawks are forcing a lot of back and forth here, though, more than I think they want on their attacking phase. They're up by 1, they need to go up by 2, and then close it out very quickly is their goal. Let's see if they can do it. Ult economy pretty equal. Matrix from tiles, popping those knives. Water wall goes up again, but do they anticipate that Kinetic's going to be walking out from tree? I don't think so, because Kinetic just got free reign.
Yeah, Kinetic definitely has the chance to take a really easy one here. Not quite going to be any contact. We are still looking.
Be careful, Jet. Don't back up without looking.
Ooh, almost like Typhlotic there. Kinetic looking for something here. May have a good look on the Matrix. Gonna peek with the knife.
Oh, peeking with the knife is a mistake. Oh, we burned all of our knives.
Yeah, the all-fire was not there, but a classic to the forehead is just as good. Milk finds Matrix, though. Prestige, oh, just sees so many people. Does get a dig. Milk to play after. Cleans up what Prestige left over, bringing it to a 4K.
Milk, that was just all the guns.
Just a graveyard.
Here's an arsenal. What would you like?
Not enough time to take, though, unfortunately. It was a quick one.
That was horrifying. I mean, great job on Prestige's part and Milk's part, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, well done to take those last 3. So Barracudas bring it back up to a 9-9. It's just Hawks, Kudas, Hawks, Kudas.
You should run.
Lockdown from attackers does make it so. Ooh, that lockdown position is interesting. I don't.
Oh, you know what's interesting is Milk's position on this lockdown. He's willing to brave the storm. He's sitting right.
Milk, don't do it.
Yeah, totally caught him.
There was only one spot where you can hide from that lockdown. Back right corner of Boathouse.
I think he was hoping that it'd be that they'd walk right past him, or that they would move into the site very slowly. Matrix, good adjustment to take this close one. Gets greedy for the long one. Not going to be there. Kinetic to be the one to take it as he moves on to the site now.
Ooh, accidentally flashed himself.
A 2v2. Typhlotic has good potential here.
They're gonna
Last player standing.
Boathouse.
One enemy remaining.
Oh. It was the adjustment. Could have taken one, maybe the other, but the back and forth left one with low health.
And the other.
So Kinetic, you only need one person to defuse, lives. 9-10 now. Barracudas, this has to be a big push to the finish line. You've got to carry this momentum. This is 2 rounds win, 1 in a row. They can prevent an overtime if they take another 3.
Just based off how back and forth this is, I'm still leaning into we might see at least a couple rounds of overtime.
It looks like the Hawks are looking for a save here.
Okay, never mind.
So Barracudas could bring it to an 11-10, and if they can do it flawlessly enough that they can bonus their weapons so that they have enough to fight against a buy round, I could see them bringing it to a 12-9.
Prestige also chose to go with the Judge, so we know for a fact that we're probably going to see a Viper's Pit get dropped and just hold it down with a Judge, lock down an entire site from any options. Doesn't matter though, Kinetic picks up 2, and they're gonna be, I think they too dropped that Harbor ultimate.
Look at this wave. I mean, Barracudas are just walking straight forward. There's a hole in the defenses though as Keikonen finds Prestige. Kinetic is gonna try to patch it up, taking Typhlotic down with him. Looking to wrap around now. Defense sitting on top of the spike. So Hawks, totally game plan changed. Suddenly, the B-wing of their wall has got to make it around. Extension looks for something. Good damage, but Kinetic finds his 4th kill instead. Ace potential here as he's got to just hunt down Keikonen.
That flick from Kinetic just took way, well, sorry, the flick onto Kinetic just took way too long.
Milk was on top of Keikonen. I looked at the minimap and I was like, what's going on here? How does that even happen? But no, he shadow stepped right on top of him and then just fell off the wall.
That is bravery right there.
Yes, it has to be.
And that is also when you are absolutely horrified. There's the Harbor ultimate getting dropped and then just unrelenting, pushing forward, blitzing the entire offense here for the side of the Hawks. Sage does have res, can't really use it, but I think we might see it in this moment. The swing peek that came out here, nope, it was right after that, into the spawn. Kinetic just stood there too long. They wrapped so much distance around that swing, and they had no fire damage on them. Had we immediately started firing with that top fire from the Stinger, we could have possibly taken down Kinetic.
Ooh, Kinetic finds a very fast one on A site. Interesting, because we had a defensive... Oh, it could be contact here as that Viper's Pit looking for Keikonen. Keikonen shouldn't be there. This is a cheeky one. Extension doing well to try to milk Kinetic out of the corner. He does get him out into firing zone, but he plays anyways, and it's so fast. Kinetic finds a 4K just on fire. Defense again is sitting on top of the spike. Kinetic feels good, wants the ace, hunting him down. Just barely sees it, but it's not fast enough for Killbot. The ace crushers.
Oh, I thought Showbot had their head exposed. Oh, I was so scared.
And there it is, that 9-12. I foretold.
You did. I shouldn't have doubted the mighty Greg.
Kinetic is just playing so hot here. Crazy to find a 4K that fast.
I really thought that the beanie was gonna give away our 4KJ behind boxes. Got a doo-doo gun or it's a spray. I can't tell. Oh.
Don't overthink it. That's my job.
Barracudas want to really crush this one, but Chobot. Oh, very close to taking down Kinetic. That could be a good one. Looks like they are not going to try to recontact Prestige with a good swing onto Extension. Actually takes the upper hand in a battle that he really was not slated to win. That's a difficult one, you know? Swinging hard onto it. Oh, my goodness, Kikonen. Definitely almost had it in the bag, but now Rezkin so low on health because, yeah, had to take that kill. That's why it's so important to find headshots. Matrix finds one in mid-air onto Rezkin. All I did need was just brush his teeth with it.
30 health gets Sage stops to give them some love. I think the Harbor ult came just a little bit too late. Yeah, so we do get the spike plant. It's going to be Chobot with an operator swinging from main.
Oh, no, he's not going to swing anywhere. Look at that. They are shutting him down. They know exactly where he's at. And they muzzleberry for the game.
I mean, what do you do at that point?
Defenders win.
And it's sweep.
Well, with that being said, it is going to be the Barracudas who walk away with the 2-0 sweep, first from Breeze and then on to Ascent. With that being said, definitely Hawks showed up for Ascent and gave the Barracudas a run for their money. It was much closer than we anticipated. I love to see it. I'm excited to see how much they improve going into next week. But if you want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with their featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Very exciting. We discussed $3.9 million in scholarships. Is a lot of money. Well, the Barracudas win our first show match of the evening with a sweep over the Hawks. Up next is our final game between the Penguins and the Foxes. Before we jump to commercial break, do you have any quick predictions to throw out as to what we might see from either of these teams? Anything scary?
No, I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of these teams at all, if any, so this could be a fresh take.
All right, well, we'll all go freshen up, taking a quick restroom break, and be back here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Hopefully they'll join us for our final match of the evening.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast, the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. And this is our Esports Tower Fall Rumble. A big congratulations to the Barracudas for winning the Rumble show match. Before we wrap up tonight, we'll have another show match between the Penguins and the Foxes. I'm still your host, Artie Rain, joined on desk by Greg Smith. I like the little, like, moment you just had. All right, so if you were to theoretically want to build a composition to run defense on Haven, give me 2 agents that you'd have to pick.
Oh, Chamber. Has to be Chamber. I mean, just being able to jump between those areas so quickly is so convenient when you have these 3 sites up. I know you feel like B site kind of like disappears after a while. Oh, we could talk about that. And then Omen, because Omen is just the best, and I like him. You know, if nothing out of nostalgia itself, but also he has the ability to jump quite literally as well.
That's valid.
I appreciate mobility over a lot of things.
And yes, I have made the statement where it's like B site kind of disappears unless someone's just going for an absolutely outrageous kind of Hail Mary moment of running onto B, but sometimes you can avoid those Hail Mary moments by following Doc's keys to the game presented to you today by Esports Tower. For Valorant, they flank efficiently, spend and peek wisely, count cards, and call abilities, click heads. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. So as we mentioned earlier, this is the Penguins versus the Foxes. We end out our night with another fun, I'm going to put that in quotation marks, depending on how this goes, match between the Penguins and the Foxes on Haven. Oh my gosh, that Penguins logo is so adorable. That just made my day.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching, or even our Esports Tower players, VitaShop has everything a gamer could need. Scan the QR code now to check out their latest products.
Haven being one of the OG 3 maps since beta, here for a long time. Players have kind of like figured it out, right?
Yeah.
And these old teams like Lumberjacks are probably pretty comfortable on this one. So we've been, kind of a theme of comfort picks coming through. I could see them picking some old school stuff as well. So
Old school stuff.
Old school stuff. I like old school stuff.
So my crazy Yoru still isn't going to be coming in.
No, unfortunately.
That's too old school. I'm just going to sit here and cry about it. That's okay.
You need a whole nother generation of Valorant before Yoru is going to be viable. Kinetic, loving.
I'm personally insulted by that statement.
Yeah, Yoru is just.
Delete simp. All right.
See,
Kinetic coming in with Prestige. The Wombo combo not really fair. Nick. I'm blind, and that's too many O's. That's just Moonkeeper, correct?
Yeah, Moonkeeper.
All right.
Yeah, Moonkeeper, Majabis, Coaxial.
We've got three members of the Lumberjacks rounding out one roster. That's interesting. The question being now, is that synergy that the Lumberjacks will bring in with their two kind of sub-infillers to round out the Penguins roster going to be enough to overcome really that dynamic duo, Prestige and Kinetic?
Yeah, Delete Simp and Rezkin hold their ground as well quite a bit. I mean, we just saw Prestige, Kinetic, and Rezkin play quite a bit. Kilds, though, a solid player, too. These are pretty big names as far as ET goes, and duking it out on Haven is not something we're going to be surprised about. Now,
unironically told by the coaches the Foxes had a stacked roster, and I jokingly told Greg at the start of the broadcast before we went live, well, my question is to them, what do they consider stacked considering how stacked the Barracudas roster is? And apparently it is going from being the monster under the bed to being the monster that is like your sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, it was the devil you know versus the devil you don't on that one. The gambit was there that the Foxes were the Barracudas, but this time again. So now the Penguins, I mean, Coaxial holding the Cypher, I think is a classic pick, considering that this is like Cypher's hometown as far as like beta methods go. And Omen on Haven is one of my favorites as well. They did not go with the Chamber, which makes sense because, I mean, if you have already Coaxial set as a Sentinel, you don't really need a second one. So now we're thinking, how fast can we play? So sure enough, bringing out three basically duelists. I'm sorry, Fade. I know you're an initiator, but you're basically a duelist.
Oh, yeah.
When played in between Kinetic and Reyna, you have to be keeping up the pace. And then at that point, you're not using your utility as an initiator, right? You're not scouting out area. You're using it to kind of move and force the players to get into your sight lines. Now, Kinetic going to take a quick one with a very appropriate. Ooh, looking to play for even more. Yes. That Frenzy paying all the way off, finds a few more. It's a high-paced game here. One Penguin left, heading up, just hiding up in heaven, looking for something.
You're gonna get pinched off, friend.
Yep, they're going to have a little stairs fight, and they find him before he can get anywhere. Kinetic, lightning fast, only let one slip through his fingers. Took a 4K on round one. I know. Ace thiefing that early. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can sort through the activity feed.
Rezkin. Oof. I mean, you can't really blame him, but I think Kinetic gets enough aces. It doesn't really matter.
He sure does. No. And the last player on the Penguins team, Nick, tried his best, but it was just not enough to 4v1 the Foxes.
I mean, you're getting pinched off. Hopefully they're aware this time that the name of the game for the Foxes is go fast, go hard.
It's going to be, which I think the Penguins roster here, or their build really, mirrors that. So this could be a quick game, even if we go to overtime. So, I mean, look at this. Just look at this mobility, this movement.
Just in the words of Mrs. Incredible, disengage.
Prestige finds one. Really being the catalyst for this space.
Oh my god!
Unfortunately, your own spawn is not safe. Do not go anywhere with your knife out. It's a dead weapon. Foxes take their second flawless. Now the Penguins slated to take this round as we are on the Foxes bonus.
Can I get a timer to tell me how long this game has lasted? Because I think those two rounds combined maybe totaled 90 seconds.
It's been fast. No, I really see this being a super high-paced game, and it's interesting because oftentimes, if you're playing on your clock, right, if you get to decide the pace of the game, you have this advantage. So if each team is kind of rushing to speed the game up to get that advantage, oh my goodness, Kinetic's just going to plow right into this tripwire. What a good one. That's a good way to slow the game down. Absolutely gets shut down Ken to take that one. Coaxial playing from the backside does get spiked. Oh, that shock dart was so good. What a good way to accept this high-pressure play. Really, the Foxes are stuck in an awkward position. They have to commit to this site or kill everyone from a different angle. So they're considering walking around, but Majabis, he's covered the other angles. Finds one.
Oh, that's rough. The trade. I mean, Penguins are leading as far as agent power goes. I mean, unfortunately, our breach is got such a low sliver of health you can barely see it. But Coaxial gonna delete Simp, as the name suggests. Now it's gonna be a 1v4. 2 health pools dwindling, but the question is, will they actually get picked off? Because his other health pool coming out from our breach is almost non-existent.
And the win con for Prestige here is, it's so tight. It's right there. He either needs to get the spike, which is right there. He needs to kill all 4 players, which is all right there. He's low on options, and if he lives this round, nothing good gets out of it. It's his bonus round, so he's not holding anything interesting in his hands.
True.
He has no shield. He does find one. Impressive.
The elbow is probably
around the tripwire. He's going to get through the tripwire, but not fast enough. Nick with a good utility drop does find it.
And it's very good opportunity for the Penguins here. I mean, things looked a little rough, but they brought it back in their favor. Love to see it. The question is, did the 2 people dying really, is that going to spell disaster for the opportunity to start swinging things back in their favor? Because remember, if you die, you lose a little bit of your econ even if your team wins. Because you have to buy a new gun.
I think really the important thing is that they found a way to accommodate for, or they've acclimated to the Fox's like high pressure play here. They absolutely got him, and runs up to it but doesn't go through.
Learn their lesson.
Yes, good thing to see both teams learning their lesson and kind of changing the way they played. This could be a pretty dynamic game. They even take out Coaxial and Ken from their old spots, addressing the 50-50 issue very well. And the Foxes this time get on site flawlessly.
Okay, so we saw adaptation from the Foxes, and we saw adaptation first from the Penguins. So the Penguins, instead of adapting...
Whoa, Nick, a narrow one.
The Rolling Thunder just gets shut down.
Beautifully played. People are taking very, very narrow angles here. Like, triggers are hot. Majabis unfortunately gets gunned down here, outgunned, and the Penguins lose their numbers. Foxes find another one.
Okay, so the Penguins, they adapted after round 1, but round 2, they kind of just did the same thing. Yes, it worked well the first time, but you have to change it up just a little bit. If you're able to adapt, you need to anticipate the other team's able to adapt. They obviously did. So, time to make another change. Can't do the same thing twice.
Good to see the back and forth. Foxes taking another point now, a 3v1. The game feels so much more even. Could I not see the scoreboard? So I wouldn't be surprised if Penguins take quite a few. Now, this is going to be a big push from the Foxes towards A site, but they're leaving one to kind of just play around, right? And we haven't seen a lot of that yet. It's been big, full force push. People haven't been soloed out until times were dangerous, so they might find a good one rotating here in the middle. Moonkeeper to find a fast one. Kinetic and Pills as well finding their one. Foxes trying to make some sight here, but it's just not happening. They're finding the kills, but they don't own the turf yet. Rezkin really opens up a hole in the guard, and Machabis has to adapt, but that adaptation goes nowhere. It's a quick rotate. Foxes stabbed them and walked away. They're looking at an easy plant on the B site here, and they've got the gates up to prevent a good rotation. There's even one coming around CT.
Come on, grab that new gun.
Coaxial is not going to be positioned well for this one. They may even find both. Ooh.
Oh, they're swinging from the same location.
It was a good peek. Kinetic and Kills find each of them their one. Penguins go down, and the Foxes take another one. Penguins, it's looking a little rough.
I'm out of here. I mean, it's not impossible. Being down 3 this early on, you can fix it. It's just...
I mean, there's a lot of momentum, like snowballing, that comes out with those first three rounds. It's kind of like determined that whoever wins the first one takes the second and loses the third. So if we take away the 2-1, Foxes are really only up by 2.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
That more, I guess, hopeful approach to counting the cards
I'm trying to make it happen. Penguins are also looking good on ultimates. I would not be surprised if they drop one pretty soon here.
I would love to see a fade ult possibly.
No, Foxes use one to hold down this Killjoy.
Okay, retake with the Nightfall. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Oh, Ken finds one, killed. They own that B territory. The Rolling Thunder outside. They're even just trying to take more and more space. Hungry for it. There's only a 3v3 left.
There's the Nightfall. I don't think they marked anyone. I didn't hear anything.
Ooh, Kinetic's back is not being watched here. Well, it is, but it's by a Penguins player. Moonkeeper finds it.
Actually, Ken is in. I guess the intel of no one being in that Nightfall was actually huge. It meant come in, take space. And sharing the defuse. I think there was an operator that got dropped. Someone might be able to go grab it if they took the time there. Yep, they're going to pick up the op.
That's a good momentum, kind of like, maybe not a total arrestment of the momentum, but to take a round, to be this high on ults, to find the op, and they didn't lose very many people, right? They only lost 2, I think.
Things are following your positive mental attitude that you had going into that last round, saying that truly Penguins are only down by 2, not 3. Now they truly are only down by 2.
Quick feet, quick trigger.
Things are starting to equalize. This is where things start to actually, I think, show us how this game's going to shake out. We have the tripwire. Haunt immediately destroyed.
Yeah, it's now a game of who can accommodate to the others first. This full force speed that we see in these pistol rounds was shut down by, there's a little bit more on the line. There's real guns happening, as well as, it looks like the Penguins figured out they can put up a tripwire and stop Kinetic from just walking straight up to the default. Yeah.
It should be called inting, because Kinetic shouldn't have been getting away with that, but it worked out. I'm still going to call it inting, though.
They're not really looking for a whole lot. Looks like one of them has gone up into the cubby.
I was legitimately trying to see that crosshair, and I borderline couldn't. My glasses aren't on, though, so not as bad. Kinetic, do you know the tripwire's there? Oh, you're trying to conga line under it. You're not going to be able to. Is that the perfect height?
He's trying to game it so that he's just in a great off angle if Nick wants to peek. He's against the wall and crouched. It's hard to flick to that, and he'll have a good sight on. But Nick is not going to peek. He is also squatting down, just hanging out. Plays right through it. The 1, 2, 3 is gone. Synchronized watches are out. All push at once.
Shout out to the KJ, though, playing patiently inside of the past garage and window. Didn't even move. Did not flinch knowing Tripwire had gone off. Nick comes in the smoke, finds Resident. Nick, Moonkeeper, both go down to delete Simp. Ken's going to find delete Simp. Kinetic finds 2. They're going to pick the op back up after that, after losing it last round. So far, Foxes leading by 3.
Little replay here of all the chaos ensuing. Starting out with a beautiful 5v5. Nick finds one with an easy gut shot and then gets taken pretty fast.
Who doesn't love some shorty in the smoke?
It's a good one. It's the right place to be with a shorty. I like the versatility of the sidearms here, right? So we're not just getting Vandal on Vandal all night.
I mean, this isn't a map where you fully need everyone buying Vandals, truly. It's not Breeze.
It's not, no. That's why I like it. It's one of my favorite maps, if not my favorite. So they're moving right forward. Kinetic, positive he's not going to see any tripwires, slides right into the DMs and takes one for free. There's just no reply. Moonkeeper looking for something. Oh. Just holding the smoke, waiting for the smoke maybe to go down so that he can pop. Kinetic right there. The beautiful AoE shot and kills from a distance takes him out.
Lots of util getting done from Kinetic. They are at 3 health. They need help with their teammates. They're going to be the one to go in first. Just make sure that if someone goes down, it's the one with the 3 pool. Doesn't matter.
It's a flawless anyways.
They survived, but...
Yeah, health so low you just can't even see it on the health bar up top. Still no ultimates. It's still been 3v4 on ultimates for a while now.
You don't need them.
I guess
Why
not.
use them?
I guess not.
Penguins definitely starting to struggle to gain a foothold here. The question is, do they leave the messages getting dropped by Kinetic unresponded to? I think it's time they do something a little different. Obviously, opening it, reading it wasn't enough. They need to make an adjustment.
Accommodating to the playstyle of Kinetic the first time went beautifully. They totally arrested the push, and they got a free round out of it. But Coaxial trying to play forward, not quite there. They have a good hold on the grass. They're going to keep on walking. Kinetic going solo down C. Isn't going to find anything. Oh!
Yikers.
Yeah. Prestige just break-checking Moonkeeper. Nick has good eyes on people, but delete Simp was too fast.
Spike planted.
Guardian gaming from Ken. The fire rate just being so low. Spells disaster there. And it's going to be Penguins trailing now by 5 into the Fox's very prominent 7 scoreline. 3 ults to 3 ults still. Are people just hesitant to hit that ult button?
We saw Kinetical last turn.
Did we?
I think so. I think it was a 3v4.
Did we really? 'Cause I just remember Kinetic.
Because Kinetic was soloing off in C, so I don't know when that would have been necessary. But I think this is the third flawless Foxes have had in a row. It's definitely the second, but it might be the third.
If you don't need the ults, then I guess you don't need it.
They are going to be pushing their way onto A. Good try to drop out. Ooh, a little bit of fighting. Coaxial falls for the classic kills move.
Don't peek the op. Don't peek the long angle on C if you know they have an op. You're just giving them a gift.
And shooting that bot just lets them know, hey, my crosshair is down and I'm available. Ooh, watch Abyss. Tries to find the coattails of that one. Keeps kicking the dead horse that gets punished for it. Kinetic sneaks up on him.
Staring down that flash. That's horrifying. Ken gonna use their snare. Not really gonna find anyone. Attacker's gonna close out that round after Ken goes down to Kinetic. They missed the box jump. That's unfortunate.
Yep.
Free peeking the long op on attack. Well, from defenders, C site. Rough situation to be in.
Yeah, that trick is written in the book right next to when they drop the classic around the corner. The old CS:GO like ditch the sidearm to bait the shot and then like move on to it. I mean, all the meta from Haven C, as far as ops goes, has been figured out. Moonkeeper, good reply to that dart right off the bat.
Just play patiently. Just play patiently, Moonkeeper. I mean, yeah, you could use a Leer or you could just wait. Just wait out. Coaxial just cleared out all of that area in front of you. So you just run
Ken
out.
feeling all the pressure, steps right into the bowling alley of death and goes down, but not before he takes Kinetic. Now, that site is unwatched, and the Foxes get to take that ground, no problem.
Okay, hear me out, though. Kinetic, the strategy has not changed. It's been use the wall and run down the middle. And the response finally came of just, you know, stepping in. But stepping in solo into the Minutemen firing squad was the issue there. If they have more than one person ready and posted up to take that fight, they could have won.
The move is to throw a flash in there, because you get the entire team.
Oh,
But
I like that.
Just didn't have that. Nick to find Redskin Prestige closing up with a 3K. That's the biggest hit the Foxes have felt from the Penguins, right? We went from consecutive flawlesses to
just
only
watch
two
Kinetic
left.
fall twice. All right. Penguins need to start giving a heavier response here quickly, though. I mean, we're 9-2. 3-9 is a little bit easier than a 2-10. Not by much, but it definitely can give you the morale boost closing out a half with a victory. So let's see if the Penguins manage to, on their last defense here, survive. We have the Odin just spraying down Garage.
This should be an incredibly chaotic round, considering last round before the swap, we have all but 2 ults on board. So I would love to see a massive ult dump. And look at this, Penguins, all 5-stack, was looking to just team push somewhere and ended up walking right past the team push of the Foxes. So the field has been shuffled, and that gives Clids the chance to stand right behind everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Looking to gun things down with the Odin.
Clids, we have matching omens, by the way.
One enemy
Wall,
remaining.
there's nothing there. Prestige find Moonkeeper, and Nick finally getting a good one to Kinetic. Clids was so sure there was someone standing behind that wall.
They just
Off your feet!
gunned it down. It was pretty great. All right, 10-2. Some may say this is a curse. We do see some teams come back from a 10-2 in favor of the team that is at the 2 mark, but that is 10 rounds, give or take 1 or 2, without dropping 1.
Yeah, it's really rough. That double-digit pressure of you can't just give up rounds, right? Saves suddenly are just less valuable or less really viable. They've got to be very careful now with their situation. Looks like we may have a technical pause coming out.
We have a what's up getting dropped. Yeah, I think possibly a technical pause. This would be a time to do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's attack pause. They just want a normal pause. So they are, after the switch, going to talk pretty in-depth, I'm sure, about their planning here, because just chaotically rolling the D20 on how they want to run things has not been playing out very well. So if you were their team, what would you say to try to deal with Kinetic on defense?
Well, we know that Kinetic plays very chaotically. They are not one to post up at a corner and stay there. They are one to push forward and claim space. So use that to your advantage. Look for Kinetic doing what Kinetic just did, playing way too far forward, way too confidently, and ego check them.
Yeah, looks like defense boxes are going to kind of fall out of this site to look for a retake situation. Rezkin does get to peek in and find Coaxel. And this is going to fall way back. Probably making a sandwich. Keeper looking to play forward onto defense. Not quite there. But did make a lot of damage on Delete Simp. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to confidently move in. And didn't even play off the contact with his teammate. Goes down. Penguins find one. That's good to take the pistol round for Penguins, because if Foxes take the pistol round and then get a free round after that, you're already looking at...
Okay, attackers are taking a timeout here. They've got 60 seconds to figure things out. That worked really well, and previously we saw them do very successfully on a defense. They changed things up. I'm not entirely positive if the Foxes were prepared for the tempo that the Penguins were going to pull out the gate there. It was very fast. It was very reminiscent of the Foxes themselves. But this 1 minute can also give the Foxes the opportunity to adjust. So what would you be doing right now? What would be your game plan if you were wanting to shake things up as the attacking Penguins right now?
The biggest shakeup of, I think, the game here would be, considering our pace so far, just slowing way down. Like you said, letting them push onto you, because it's going to happen. We've seen them just 5-stack push places. I think definitely if they play slow and if they play really deliberate, really surgical about it, they could get a good round out of this. And I mean, they have like the up in creds to take this next round. What they have to worry about is the round after that. So they really want to set themselves up for a good time on the kind of round 3 of this half, because that's where they're going to be in the bonus, and the other team is going to have a whole set of fresh buy. And that's the big problem too, is you can get huge buy rounds out of the team that is already in double digits when you're below 5, because they can take a save round whatever they want. They can just lose twice in a row just for the creds, and then come back so strong to just end it all.
So I'm glad we're both in agreement here on desk. I'm wanting to see kind of like a flipped play style a little bit here, which is the Penguins go in playing as though they're the defensive team as opposed to the attacking team, because it's the defense that is now attacking.
And look at that, the Foxes just walked all 5 of them straight down C. And they're looking for the biggest flank of all time. Now, Penguins literally just have to typical defend. They're not ready for all of that. Coaxio finds a good one, but Prestige plays so forward. Moonkeeper was just not ready for that. At 3v3 now, one goes down in hell.
2v2,
oh,
2v1. Playtime, playtime. Don't give Prestige the peak.
And Ken, was almost ready to play up after off some contact here. Good cage near default just to test it out. Prestige has to play forward here.
Going to force the wraparound. They should be looking left.
Did not check around that. Ken now, it's his turn. Wasn't close enough to play off the contact. Stood somewhere, hoping for this long game.
Nice!
That's what they wanted. That's what Ken wanted. Didn't want to be there for first contact. Would much rather take a situation where they peek onto the defuse, which is up to personal choice at that point, and it's good that they chose the one they were more comfortable with and walked out with the round. So Penguins do find a round. It was a little bit tighter than they were comfortable with. I mean, after winning the pistol round, you should have not that tough of a time to find it. So this is kind of an important round. Like, this is a keystone round, I think.
Full transparency, I was not anticipating the Foxes to make as bold of a move of all of them taking very offensive positions and rotating through B to mid.
Whoa!
But this is what I was prepared for.
Yeah, the Foxes with a 5-stack push again.
Just play back.
Through
play
C.
Back,
Penguins were right there.
Just wait for them. Wait for them to over-rotate. Wait for them to get confident. Play back. Don't play into them again. It does seem as though the Foxes are going to change things up, kind of. They're going to 3-stack A, 2-stack pseudo C, with one going to be inside garage. Hopefully. I don't want the whole Minuteman squad pulling up again into the Penguins' faces on attack here. Instead, they're just going to... Okay. I thought... That's the alarm bot there is fine.
Yeah, Penguins are going to rep C. Much slower this time. Just waiting for something around the corner. And that's appropriate. That makes a lot of sense.
But now that there was back-to-back very blitz-style tactics coming out from the Penguins, well, from the Foxes, it shook the Penguins up too much, so they played back very heavily.
They need to now be watching a flank guard, right? If you give your opponent, who we know is very high pace and very honestly aggressive, oh, such trigger control gives him a free 3 points. Takes the majority of the team. Just all in one go. Kinetic right down the line, so he's going to start replying, making his way back on his site. It's not fast enough. Defenders totally took it.
We are at match point now in favor of the Foxes. And I think that change in play style is just being too difficult to address from the Penguins to the Foxes. And truly, it's a double-edged sword. If they all push 5 at once, anticipating a 5-man push, you either get everyone down or you all go down. I was hoping to see a more hesitant playstyle early on, but because they took too long to determine that playstyle was necessary, the Foxes are already in their heads. They're just going to go very heavy assaults into A site. As we hear Neon pop their ultimate. There goes Cypher, there goes Rolling Thunder, there goes Nightfall.
Oh,
lots of util, lots of ults. This is the last opportunity for the Penguins to bring things back in their favor, so no question about them dropping all they have.
Yeah, Penguins are just charging into the fire here. They take one and lose 2 after all of that sound. Interesting that they keep feeling like they can just play harder and they'll get it. So they just charge straight in. They do take the space. That rotate is coming around from the Foxes now. Rezkin going to be the first one. Oh my goodness!
Spike down.
What a collateral! Just lined the heads up and took out the body as well as the plant.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations, Foxes. This was just a best-of-1 show match. You guys showed up. Penguins, you guys did a fantastic job as well. Just responses came a little bit too late to the messages being sent by the side of the Foxes. With that being said, it was a fabulous and fun game to watch nonetheless. Do you have any comments about that final series we got to watch on Haven?
Not about the game itself. No, I mean, keep an eye on the pacing.
Yeah, I agree with that. But if you yourself are someone watching and want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. We have one more job here on desk before we close out this evening, and that is the ICCU player of the game.
I can't give it to Kinetic. I'm sorry.
I'm not giving it to Kinetic.
He has enough of them. He has enough trophies. I can't give it to Prestige for similar reasons. Actually, the exact same reason. I want to give it to Rezkin. I mean, on that play alone, that was impressive.
There's no trio coming from the desk. We're all just voting Rezkin. Both of us.
Let's see. Let's see it.
Milk. Okay. No shock.
Had a good presence. Did some big things.
True. Also, that's the Sova play over on Breeze. Oof, spicy.
He's got a respectable picture too. So.
Prestige.
Yeah.
I just heard production giggle because I'm pretty sure they picked the trio as we were saying we were not going to give Prestige or Kinetic the ICCU player of the game card. So we're either going to see both or one of them. I'm hoping it's just one. I'm hoping Rezkin gets the light shined on them.
Yeah, you know, a little bit of light shine.
Guys.
So I would love to see Milk get it. He was a presence on the field.
I'm going Milk. I might be lactose intolerant, but Milk, you're still getting my vote.
But yeah, we saw a lot of great players today do some crazy things. Chobot also.
And
that's a good one.
Let's see who production ended up picking. Yeah, just based on the fact that we heard giggles, I'm concerned. Heavily leaning into Milk, praying that it's Milk. Milk, it's your turn to have the light shined on you, but if Prestige or Kinetic take it, know that neither one of the casters on desk had a hand in that. We only get to give suggestions, obviously, by the fact that Prestige and Kinetic were both in the trio.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
We're just waiting patiently for...
And no disrespect to, you know, Prestige or Kinetic. You guys are fantastic, but we've seen it.
But we got to spread the love around a little bit. And the ICCU player of the game is going to be Milk. Okay, good. The player of the game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Milk is the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game.
And some crazy plays here. This was a huge one. Just good understanding,
The bait.
beautiful timing, a great bait that totally took down the top fragger of the other team. We saw such a presence on the field for Milk.
This is so beautiful here. What this fake out that we end up seeing in this 2v1 situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely just egregious in the best way possible. Milk, congratulations on being the ICC Player of the Game. And we see some plays from Kinetic, but Kinetic getting a little bit too confident. Milk cleaning up after them instead. Spilled Milk didn't have to wipe it up with some was it Brawny? Yeah, Brawny for big messes. Milk instead comes in and cleans up nicely. All right, so I want to give a quick congratulations to all of our teams on an excellent night of Valorant. The Barracudas came out on top in our first show match. That was a best of 3, so they ended up closing out in a 2-0 victory. And with our final show match, it is going to be the Foxes that win out over the side of, my brain just broke, Hawks? No, it was Hawks and Barracudas, and those Foxes and Penguins. Apologies. Make sure you tune in next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to find out how our next Rumble begins. And we're going to close out today with a top 5 plays of the game presented to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. From all of us here at the Boise State family, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Solid, just smooth gameplay here. Plastic Sleep looking for 2 under the hell, but doesn't. What a timing. They're just playing ring around the rosy. Finally finds one. The other as well, right there. Looking for something. There's just so much sight denial. Oh, I would love to see a massive ult dump. And look at this. Penguins, all 5 stack, was looking to just team push somewhere and ended up walking right past the team push of the Foxes. So the field has been shuffled, and that gives Clids the chance to stand right behind everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Looking at gun thing. Roll the boulder uphill here. It looks like they're considering doing it with Hakonen's help. They're going in. Oh, very good bait on the Jet, taking care of Kinetic now. That was a 1-for-1, right? They made a 2-4 into a 3-3. Pretty big.
That was a beautiful red bait. Safe player. I knew.
To come out. Anyways, Barracudas, an absolute train, just forced their way right to anyways.
I understand that they're tired of it, but truly what worked for them was that patient playstyle. Let them use util. Let's back off. Maybe bait out some util using one of our own. But other than that, no more. And then re-engage knowing where everyone's at.
Yep, and that was a big, but unfortunately that means the Barracudas only have the clock to fight. They did not expect him to be there at all. There was no counting.
The swing and peep just play patiently.
The Ruby and the Odin, yep, gonna milk them out from one side, but they're not there. They're in hell.
They whiffed it.
Not placed a check with the knife. Look.